So let's really make this official, and let's finally peel off this plastic. Here it is. Look at this. It's coming off. Yes. The car is broken in now. We have it in Z mode, as you can tell. And let's just take a listen. Oh God. Yep. That just sounds. Oh, that sounds good. These fans are definitely kicking in. Alright guys, welcome back. I hope everybody is having an awesome day. Today we're going to do the 500-mile break-in on this gorgeous 2023 hardtop convertible C8 Special Edition 70th anniversary. This car is absolutely stunning. I can't wait to do this break-in. I want to show you guys what you're going to experience as far as what's going to change in the car, give you my first impressions of how this car feels. We're going to compare it to my previous C8, which was a hardtop. Ooh, man, nope, it was not a hardtop. It was a hatch. It was a blue hatch. It was a 3LT, gorgeous car. I want to see what the difference is, how this car feels, how it sounds, and how it reacts with the 500-mile break-in. And we're also going to discuss what I plan on doing after the 500-mile break-in, as far as should I get it serviced right away, should I not, if I'm going to, and why. So you guys let me know what you think, what you would do with your car with the 500-mile break-in. Are you going to get the oil change right away? And if so, why? We're also going to discuss if this car sounds different, being that it's a hatch and the motor is inside this sealed compartment compared to when I had the hatch. I believe from what I heard from other people that have owned these cars, it does sound different. In other words, it should be a little quieter in the inside, and with this exhaust, I can tell you right now, this is wider and it sounds better, deeper than the traditional C8. Now, my last one was a Z51. This is also a Z51, in case anybody is wondering. And if you compare these side by side to the traditional C8 exhaust, these tips are definitely wider. Does it add more horsepower? I honestly don't know. I don't know if there's any other changes to the exhaust other than how wide the tips are. If you guys know, drop a comment and let me know. I'm really curious to know about that. And during this break-in, also want to know if anybody knows how much horsepower is actually held back before the break-in of 500 miles or 501 miles. It's debatable. I'm just curious because there definitely is a big difference, right? The car has lag. It's lag for a reason, right? They want you to have the motor seal in properly as far as the fluids and any kind of adhesive and coatings on the exhaust and coatings throughout the car. Now, there are some people that have the new Z06, different car, same principle, where they weren't properly breaking into cars and they started having problems. Aside from it being a flat plane crank and it's been newly introduced, which is still research and engineering on that platform, some probably should have broke that car in properly. So let's hop in this car. Let's do the POV drive, the official POV drive of this car, at least with you guys. And let me know what you think so far. And there are some things I'm going to point out in this car that I noticed that are different, having a hardtop convertible versus a hatch. Things that you should definitely know before you buy a hatch. It may change your mind, it may not. So guys, let's dive into it. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe, give me that big old thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps YouTube with the algorithm, share all my videos with you guys. So yes, it makes YouTube gods very happy and it helps the channel. So thank you so much. Let's do this. And this is the first official POV drive. And oh look, this guy is driving all over the road. How about that? Yeah, pretty random, but he's all over the place. Currently, we are at 494 miles, and as you can tell, the wrapping is still on this car. So the break-in should be roughly right around 501 miles. My previous C8, if you guys remember that car in Rapid Blue, it was not at 500 miles. So some people see the 500 miles and they're like, what's going on? It hasn't changed over. So when this front display does change over to 500 miles, you will have the full potential of this car. Meaning, I'm assuming the full potential of the horsepower and torque, because I don't know how much is being restrained from the factory. The car does not feel as fast prior to the break-in. Having said that, I have not dove into this car as far as the performance it's been driven very, very softly, as well as it should be. And the question is, what do we do after the 500-mile break-in? Well, I'm going to get the oil change taking place as soon as possible for the potential of any kind of metal shavings that may be in the oil, being that this is a new motor. Is there going to be? I highly doubt it, but I prefer to make sure the oil change is done as soon as possible, so I don't take any chance of any metal shavings staying in the oil if there is. Now, I believe the break-in period is, again, the 500 miles, and then right around 1,200 to 1,500 miles on the car if you're going to race it. So there are a lot of people out there who have the new Z06 that are having problems, and they didn't do the proper break-in. The motor has to seal. All lubrication, any kind of adhesives or anything else they're using throughout the motor, they have to settle and seal properly. So that's just the way it is. So for right now, we are at 496 miles on the car. As soon as it's hit the break-in, well, we will see what this car is going to do. The question is for you guys, anybody that's had a hardtop hatch or convertible, or a 2021 versus 2023, have you noticed a difference in your car as far as performance? Now in this case, right now, I'm getting 19.6 miles to the gallon, a 93 octane, driven very softly. Why do I bring this up? Well, my last C8, driven the same way, after the break-in, I was getting about 25 to 27 miles a gallon. Now, that's a big difference. Now, I know the average person, including myself, now, I'm just curious about this. This is not a deal breaker for me. I did not buy this car to care about the gas mileage, but for some of you that are watching this, you might. But I'm just curious, because I mean, 19.7 on the highway versus mid to high 20s in my previous C8. Is that because the car has not been broken in yet? That's the question. So if you guys know the answer to that, yeah, do me a favor and drop a comment and let me know what your opinions are. I'm just a little curious. But so far, my first impressions of driving this car as the first official POV drive, I'll tell you some things that are different. Number one, this car is quieter. I'm assuming because it's a hardtop hatch and the motor is completely sealed. The exhaust is louder, for sure. This has the blacked out exhaust, which the tips are wider. So if you compare those to a standard C8, they are wider. So they do sound a little bit louder. Does that give you better performance? I don't know. If it does, it might be 2, 3, maybe 5 horsepower, but I highly doubt it. But it does sound better. The other thing I noticed is this digital rear view mirror receives a lot of reflection from sunlight or high beams because you only have one pane of glass for the light to transfer through, versus the hatch, the glass that covers the motor, and then your secondary, which is this here. And before you ask, yes, this does have tint, and you still get a lot of glare. So that is something for you to think about when you have a hardtop hatch. I would recommend you get this glass tinted as dark as possible to mitigate that glare. Look, random truck in the middle of the road. How about that? So those are some of the things I noticed right away. The reflection on the windshield is, of course, not very much at all, if any, being that this is the special edition with this suede interior. So I would recommend that if you're going to purchase your car and get it spec'd out, get a darker interior color, maybe, you know, black, some type of black if it's suede, or just all black. If you get a tan or something like that, it's probably going to reflect on your windshield. Is that a big deal? It depends on who you ask. For some people, it's not. But that is just something I wanted to point out. But yeah, I did notice some, you know, small differences in it being a hardtop hatch compared to the hardtop convertible compared to the hatch. Now, the one thing I will tell you is that going from the competition seats to the GT2 seats, I feel like there's probably a little more cushion in the seat, which has made my head a little closer to the top of the car. Now, I don't know if that's just a design, because the hatch is designed differently, or as some would say, maybe your butt's gotten bigger. I don't know. But right now, we're at 499 miles, so we are getting pretty close to that magic number. And, oh, there you go, one wheel. pretty random. So let's see. Again, I'm pretty sure this is going to be at 501 miles when it changes over, and not necessarily at 500. So it should give the RPM range right around 6,500, give you the full potential of the car. At this point, things should be sealed pretty well in the motor, but you know, I wouldn't go crazy on the car until roughly right around 1,200 miles. That's just my opinion. Again, we are going to take this to get it serviced and get the oil change done on the car, and then it's standard just to check over in the car, a onesie. You know, we'll take it to Whitmore, and I will let the techs over there, if they're available, discuss their opinions if you should get your car serviced at 500 miles or if you should get it serviced at, you know, 1,000 miles. Now, to my knowledge, the first service is still covered over the, you know, the warranty, I guess you could say, or not really the warranty, but you get your first service free traditionally when you buy your C8 Corvette new. So that shouldn't be a problem. And if it, you know, if they do charge it, I really don't care. It's not a big deal. But I doubt they will. So that is the question. What do you guys think? In your first 500 miles, do you plan on getting your car serviced, or did you get your car serviced? If not, when did you get your car serviced when you first purchased your car? So as you can see, we're at 500 miles right now, and it has not transitioned over as of yet. Again, I believe it's going to be at 501 miles, so we'll see. And you'll notice the RPMs will change. And then, you know, that's a good question though, as far as this. I don't know how much it holds back from the factory. So if you guys know, drop a comment. Is it 10%, is it 20% lack of power when they put it in this break-in mode? But it definitely feels slower during the break-in mode. But I just don't know. It's really hard to tell. So as you can tell, we're at 500 miles and it still has not transitioned over as of yet. So if your car is doing this, that's not a concern. Let's see. Let's keep on taking a look and see when it's, oh, there it is. It has transferred over, and it is at 500 miles. It's a late 500 miles. Check it out. That is so cool. So I stand corrected the entire time we've been filming. It is not 500 miles. I'm sorry, 501 miles. It is 500. It's probably 5.75. Who knows? Anyway, so we have full potential right now of the car. So if we want to get a little bit on the gas, we probably could. I would not recommend it currently where I'm at. And of course, you would do this in Mexico if you're going to, you know, drive sparingly and enjoying the car. So I am excited. So the one thing I'm really curious to see is if in B4 mode for 4-cylinder, if it's activated more now that it's broken in than it was before during the break-in period, and maybe that will change the gas mileage, right? Again, it's not a huge deal, but it is, you know, prior to on highway I was getting mid-20s to 27 miles to the gallon, and on 93 octane, driving very, very safely in this car. I've been staying at 19.8. So I'm just really curious to see if that changes. If that doesn't change and it stays, you know, at 20 miles per gallon, you know, again, this car, I didn't buy it for the gas mileage, okay guys? But it's just a discussion, a topic to bring up, because some people do care. If that stays there, then I might have to look more into it and see why that could possibly have taken place. So yeah, now that we're at this break-in and we're in a safer environment, let's go ahead and just get on the gas a little bit and see how she feels. Yeah, yep. In traditional fashion, it sounds very good. And I can tell you right now, like I said before, this blacked out exhaust with the different tips and it being a hardtop convertible covering up that motor is definitely louder than my hatch, my previous C8. And that car was beautiful. It was a Rapid Blue 3LT, gorgeous car. If you'd like to see anything on that car, feel free to look through the channel, or I'll put a link somewhere in this video. So break-in period, here we are. The other thing I noticed too is, and obviously this could be according to the weather, is that it's staying a lot cooler than my last C8. Now, I don't know if that's because of a different year or what's going on with that. I have no idea. But my last one would stay right around 205, 210, and about the same temperature. Now, I've been driving this car roughly 30 minutes so far, off and on. So the car should be still pretty warm. All right, guys, since the car is broken in now, we have it in Z mode, as you can tell. And let's just take a listen. That just sounds, oh, that sounds good. Oh man. Yep, it definitely sounds a lot better since the break-in mode, and car is definitely performing like night and day. So if you guys do know what the horsepower differences are as far as what they hold back, I would love to know. Oh, Jesus. Top convertible's way to go. Definitely sounds much better. Oh man. Let's see if we can get some downshifts. Man, sounds good. Alright guys. You have a great day. See you in the next upload.